What's going on, everybody? Hello, welcome back, and today I'm going to be doing a deeper dive into the angelic weapons and basically the combat system in Hazbin Hotel. So, I mean, if you've watched the show, you already know it can be a bit confusing at times, especially when Lou slams Vaggy's head against the table. People keep saying, "Oh, it's an angelic table." Ooh, that's not entirely true. If you have watched Hazbin Hotel, it's a bit of a weird and touchy subject because yes, demons can be hurt by non-angelic means, which I think is the bit that confuses people. If you get stabbed, shot, or crushed in hell as a sinner, it doesn't overly matter as long as it's not angelic weapons because it's a bit of a I think only, and it's more like, okay, let me put this down in simple terms right now for you all. So, rather than being alive, it's a bit of a weird one because obviously no one is alive in there. They look alive, like sinners can bleed, they can feel pain, eat, drink, and get absolutely awfully drunk. Husk. Oh, sorry. But it is true, they are dead, which means the physical forms that they have, it's more just physical manifestation of their own souls than actual flesh and blood. Even if it is made out of flesh and blood, it's more like linked to souls. It does explain why normal damage doesn't matter long term. Like, we see it when Val, in the very emotional scene, hits Angel and he starts bleeding. And then a couple minutes later, there's no mark, no bruises, is absolutely fine. It's because like the soul and the essence essentially just fixes the body. This is true for all the injuries not caused by angelic means. So it kind of links in with the fact that why violence is such a big thing among sinners, because it doesn't really mean an awful lot. Death basically has lost any meaning because they're already dead. But it lines up with the exterminations because as soon as they realize that no one's coming back because the exterminators killed them with the angelic weapons, then it's kind of, yes, that would install fear into them, and it also makes sense why no one actually fought back. You can fight back, but it's a bit useless because the same thing applies to every single being that we have seen so far. Except, this is a weird one. Hellborns, I'm not sure about, because the loan sharks, I don't think they're coming back. It is a bit of a strange one. I think Hellborns obviously can die from permanent injuries, but not, obviously by angelic, but they don't respawn in a sense. I think, obviously, Stolas, so the higher up in the hierarchy you are, I think it's from sinners onwards, can only be permanently killed by angelic weapons. Because in Hazbin Hotel, I forgot what episode, when Stryker used the angelic knife on Stolas. Forgot the episode, but that doesn't matter. When he used that, it was obviously left a permanent scar. Whereas if it was just a normal knife, I think it would have healed over. So essentially what makes angelic weapons so special is the fact that it damages the soul. Which leads me to a point, and this is a bit of a crossover for you Hazbin Hotel fans and Jujutsu Kaisen fans. This is gonna sound really bad, because it took Yuji Itadori so long to fight Mahito and cause barely any damage and just to not even kill him in the end. But if anyone from the Hazbin Hotel universe has an angelic weapon, they can solo Mahito because it targets souls rather than physical form. He wouldn't be able to reconstruct properly. Which now makes me think Lucifer solos all the JJK, except from Gojo. Well, because he's Gojo, of course. Anyway, that's a side rant. Where was I? The soul itself, right? Yeah, okay, so The soul is obviously an important thing in Hazbin Hotel because we see soul deals going on, specifically between Husk and Alistair and Angel and Valentino. So it's obviously an important part of the entire show. The way the angelic weapons are, it's as if it's harming, like, us as humans currently. If we get harmed by something, like we get stabbed, that's basically what an angelic weapon is to sinners. It's just a normal weapon. Like, it just makes them damaged, like, as if we got stabbed. Like, obviously, we could die from it. It would take a while. For some, not so much. But it wouldn't heal fully for a while, and then, obviously, it would leave a deep scar. Which makes me think Alistair... Obviously, he's not going to die. He's had the wound for a while, and I do think it will close up. But it will obviously just leave that giant scar there. So, yeah, it's just more like normal weaponry to us. And to them. But if it was something such as a table, and you get your head slammed on the table repeatedly, yeah, I think Vaggie did heal from that. It's not like her nose is permanently damaged, is it? So that's obviously healed straight away. Which then does beg the question, Lute's arm. Obviously it's been ripped off, but Vaggie's wings I think also got ripped off by Lute. I don't know if it got stabbed off, like sliced off, which is a bit confusing to me. I probably should rewatch the scene before making this video, but I'm gonna take a guess and just say they were ripped off by Lute's arms, and it grew back eventually. This could mean, possibly, that we will see Lute regrow her arm at some point in the show. Which I'm gonna guess. Maybe Season 3, maybe Season 4. I'm leaning more towards Season 4 now that we know that there's a Season 5. Or Lute's just gonna die before then. We don't know. I think one of my guesses, one of my predictions that are gonna be in the prediction video I'm doing, is Vaggie's gonna die and Charlie's gonna go like haywire and just kill Lute. Because I do think Lute will kill Vaggie at some point. But it's a bit of a weird one. But this is the strange bit to me, right? Not all angelic injuries appear to function in the same way. Because there's different damage that you can do to a soul, I reckon. I think that's also a big reason why Lute's arm also hasn't regrown back yet. Because obviously her soul's taken a lot of damage from, obviously, emotional distress. Especially after seeing Adam die. So, and obviously Vaggie's wings, she had emotional distress too when she had her wings cut off and she got, not cut off, pulled off and got basically kicked out of heaven for seemingly having mercy. But that regrown when she kind of like fixed herself a bit, so first step would be to kind of self-actualize and like heal from the emotional distress, and then the physical injuries would disappear. I don't know if that's the case for both sinners and like the heavenborn, like angels and stuff. I think it's more the case of angels, if anything, because they're not exactly biologically the same as sinners or even humans or winners. We do see this in episode, I think it's 6, when they go to heaven. I'm bad with episode numbers. Who knows? Whenever they go to heaven, when they first get introduced to Sarah and Emily, they have their true form, and then phew. Obviously not all angels have true forms. We don't think Lute has one, because she is just an exterminator. Which is why it's so complicated. There's so many factors which can be led into, does this affect it, does that affect it? Well, it ultimately comes down to, yes, you can be injured by non-angelic means, but if you get injured to a certain extent where you probably wouldn't be able to heal from it, you just reform, like your soul just reforms the body, and you respawn. This is for pretty much sinners only, and, well, sinners upwards. And then, if you get hit by an angelic weapon, it's as if you got hit by a normal weapon when you were alive. If you die to one, We don't know what happens to your soul. I'm assuming it gets like put into like back into hell, into like hell's landscape. Potentially something to do with Rue. That'll be interesting to see. You can heal from angelic injuries. It will just be as if you were healing from a normal injury. Do see that with Alistair. He didn't die when hit pretty bad with one. He's obviously going to heal. But then angels are slightly different, where yes, they can be damaged by non-angelic means, but I think the healing process is a bit different. It's more of an emotional side of things rather than just an automatic your soul has reformed it. Rah. It's obviously they go on their own journey to heal themselves, which is kind of like more, it like adds to the angelic characters quite a bit. Which is why I don't think Lute's ever going to heal her arm back. Let's be honest, she's not going to realize that, oh, Adam's gone. He probably wasn't the best guy around, so I'm not really too bothered by it. And then grow her arm back. But this is really difficult to explain as well now, because Emily got her wing shot off, so obviously that was by an angelic cannon, so her wings probably won't grow back. We do see her with the prosthetic, that's probably never going to come back. But the darkest implication of everything is, if angelic weapons do destroy souls completely, and they go into and reform hell's landscape, what does that feel like for the double dead individual? I mean, we see with Adam, he kind of like looked a bit happy on his death, but I don't think he will be now, because the eyes link into the deaths of sinners, I'm pretty sure, because the more the series goes on, the more eyes there are everywhere. So it's a bit of a strange one. However, if this is true, and obviously we know angelic weapons permanently kill angels, sinners, pretty much anyone in hell or heaven, pretty much. We're yet to see the archangels and God. Although we do see Lucifer, who used to be an archangel, Archangel Samael. We do see him get injured with the Season 2, when Fox is draining the energy out of him. He does get impaled by the angelic stuff. Those wounds will heal, obviously. They're pretty small wounds, but they will heal eventually. We do see him bleed. It'll just take time, like as if he got like hit with like a normal needle. Where was I going with this? I low-key kind of lost myself. Oh, right. So if that is the case, because Camilla Carmine has a capital, like she's capitalized on angelic weaponry, she is kind of the most powerful in hell, because she has the means to potentially kill everyone in hell. So it makes her the most dangerous. Not necessarily the most powerful, I kind of misspoke there. She's potentially the most dangerous, because we see that she built the cannon that Vox used in Season 2. So if she can build stuff like that, which can shoot a shot, an angelic beam, from hell all the way to heaven and hit heaven and cause mass destruction, that's really OP. She can make so many of those. Obviously, we'll need an angelic source like Lucifer, but she can make like loads of miniature versions of it and have like some other power source or something similar and kill sinners like that, and she can completely decimate hell. She's the most dangerous and potentially the most overpowered person in the entire hell, just because of the fact that she's capitalized on angelic weaponry. However, that does not make her the most overpowered person in the entire show. Not by a long shot. Obviously, heaven somehow made the weapons. Whoever's making those weapons are probably the most overpowered person in the entire of the show. I do think, though, angelic weaponry is kind of just a manifestation of the angels' souls. I think it would be really interesting to see that if, when the angels die, their souls obviously don't dissipate, but rather go into the weapons. Hence why Vaggie can manifest her spear just out of thin air. It would be really interesting to see if that was the case, actually. And it was just an extension of the angel souls, hence why it's angelic. That would be really cool to see. But overall, summarize the video. In Hazbin Hotel, ordinary injuries just damage the physical form, but angelic weapons damage the soul itself. That's why most sinners regenerate from normal violence, but suffer permanent damage from angelic attacks. The severity of the damage seems to depend on the weapon attack, the victim's power level as well. Obviously Lucifer is mega high, which does make me think now, if he can't harm sinners, why could he harm Adam? Technically Adam's human and he was in hell. I know he's technically a winner and all that, but doesn't that also technically make him a sinner as well? What defines a sinner? What can't Lucifer harm? These questions are so interesting to ask. Either way, the severity of the damage seems to depend, is what I'm saying. But if absolute cinema lad, if sinners are capable of redemption, the permanent soul destruction, it's kind of like a horrible ethical ordeal. Like, obviously Sarah's going through that right now. She is absolutely going mental over that fact. But just all these questions and facts, it just makes Hazbin's like world building so much more interesting. The more confusing something is, but can still be explained, the more like, the better the show basically. That's just it though. What do you guys reckon? Do you guys have any other questions? Because I would love to answer them. I think I'm just gonna like compile some for a video. Let me know in the comments if you think it works in a different way, if you think it is like truly soul related or adjacent, or subscribe and leave a like on the video. Your choice. Either way, I will see you in the next one, and I will see you all soon, my lovelies. Goodbye.